Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Sleepy Sunday stream, which I am very much looking forward to because, as you might have seen from QuakeCon this last week, Night Dive Studios and Machine Games have worked together again to do a somewhere between a re-release and a remaster of Quake 2, like they did with Quake 1. And the remake, the re-release of Quake 1 was fantastic, making it really easy to play Quake 1 on Steam on a new machine. As with all of these, you could do these with open source kind of libraries and launchers, but it's actually really nice just to have them just running in Steam without any faff. Plus, they've added a bunch of additional stuff that's really nice to see. Online multiplayer works again, bots work again, and they've added a whole new campaign, which is probably what we'll try out today. So, hello Port Ponky, thanks for joining us. One of the reasons I'm super excited to play this is going to be very controversial, especially now Port Ponky is here. I think Quake 2 is better than Quake. Shh. At least for me, it has more nostalgia, because Quake 2 was one of the games, apart from Roller Coaster Tycoon, I spent a huge amount of time playing. It's the first multiplayer game I ever played online. So I know, let's have a look at that. I know one of the maps like the back of my hand. What have you got? Oh, you can actually LAN party this. Amazing. Yeah, the Edge is just, I know it ridiculously well. Apparently they put a new, that's a new multiplayer map in as well. Well, a lot of people prefer Quake to Quake 2, at least the single player. But I have a really large nostalgia for the Quake 2 single player as well. So, oh yeah, for deathmatch, certainly. For giggles, let's just start, in fact, with this deathmatch, because we can stick bots in. I spent a lot of my childhood in that map there, mainly because the bots couldn't navigate it and kept falling into lava, which made it quite easy. Yeah, go on then, let's embarrass ourselves a little bit. Oh man, there are a lot of options available in this. Nice. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, I have no idea. Oh, that's a decent spawn. So if you haven't played this, this is one of the games that effectively popularized the arena shooter, which was the game type that everybody played for a long time before class-based shooters came around. So Unreal Tournament, Quake 3, all of those things. A lot of them started here and in Quake to get like larger popularities. Oh man, and I have not played Quake 2 in particular for a long time. Can't hit anything. So there's that. Oh. Oh. What, you mean Quake 2 put the gun off to the side where you would hold it like a normal person, not weirdly in the middle of your screen? In fact, I think, pretty sure, if you want to get grumpy about that, there is somewhere. There you go. You can put it back. You can put it back in the center. Like, this isn't how a gun looks when you hold. Oh, they just make the entire thing go away. Anyway, we're not going to do that because that looks wrong. Yeah. And I haven't played Quake 2 multiplayer for a very long time. I played a lot of Quake 3 through Quake Live, so I'm kind of used to those guns' cadences. So I'm going to be pretty gubbins at this for a bit. Wow, that is deliciously low-resolution skybox. Ow. Ah, up there. One thing that's really interesting going back to this in particular is it makes you realise how much better Quake 3 was, how they really just made everything about it feel so good in comparison to Quake 2. Everything just feels a bit too slow and a bit too clunky comparatively. But a bunch of mods that you're probably quite familiar with came out of the Quake 2 modding days as well. I'm pretty sure Team Fortress was from this and Quake lineage originally as well. Yep, our Quake 2's floaty, but all the guns feel better and more responsive. In this, they're all a bit too slow and a bit bleh. Like, you can tell they're more designed for single player than DM. Or deathmatch to use, you know. Just as that term has been rather co-opted by something else. Anyway, this map's fine, but I have no nostalgia for it. So, I think we should go play some single player before I get humiliated by the bots that I've clearly put on a level that's too good for me right now. Come here and get super shotgunned. Oh my goodness. There we go. Thank you. Now that they've kept the chat, the bot chat, I always used to like that. Oh, that's quad damage. I used to play a lot of jailbreak mods back in the day. Anyway, yes, stop that or I'm just going to play that the whole time. Couple of things about the new remake. First of all, they default your mouse sensitivity to a hilariously low amount, so you probably want to turn that up if you've ever played a video game before. Also, the bindings are completely backwards for modern bindings. So they have run and walk on crouch and crouch on shift, which feels incredibly wrong if you've played any modern games. It's probably how it was back in the day, but I recommend switching that. Also, the mouse wheels were completely backwards for me as well. They've also got a bunch of video settings if you want to fanny about with those, but why you would want to turn on CRT simulation in a game like this, I have no idea. But you can turn on a whole bunch of other options here. And I've also turned off text just moving because it looks a bit weird. Quad damage in Quake has never actually done 4 times the damage. The amount it multiplies your damage is different for every weapon in almost all the games from what I'm aware of. I mean, I'll do it, but it's going to get horrendously compressed through Twitch. Oh, and that's me demonetized. Oh my god, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. So yeah, we're not going to play with that one, obviously. It isn't in person. The CRT lines are way too obvious. It's just it gets compressed when you stream it, so it looks a bit better. Any hoodles. The other good thing about this, they have a bunch of new stuff. So if you've owned Quake 2 before, this is all free update. But they've bundled Quake 2, Call of the Machine and The Reckoning into the same package. I've never played these two. It was The Reckoning and Ground Zero were the old ones. I've never played these two. By all accounts, they are fine. I've heard one of them in particular is not very good at all. Call of the Machine is the new campaign made by Machine Games, which I definitely want to try. They've also bundled in Quake 2 64, which is fun. Although it's much similar to Quake 2 than Doom 64 was to Doom. They've also put in a tutorial, so let's do this. See what they're gibbering about. Oh, that's the other thing. You've got a computer and objectives in this. This defaults to F1 rather than tab, and my my muscle memory could not deal with that. So yes, I do not remember Quake 2 having a tutorial, so let's see what they're going to tutorialize us. Ah, how to use buttons. Well, that's a shoot button, I remember that. And yes, you hit buttons in this game just by smooshing your face into them. That's interesting, Pop Ponky. It definitely didn't in Quake 2 Deathmatch from what I remember. Oh, and they've added, this is new as well. We didn't used to have this equipment wheel. Stuff just used to activate as soon as you picked it up, from what I remember. Although it's been a long time, so don't quote me on that. You might have been allowed one pickup and had a use key, which I think is what they did in Quake 3. So the environmental suit, or the hazard suit, just stops you from taking damage from acid and lava. Oh, sorry. It was going to tutorialise me. If you think that's modern, you're not going to like this thing that I read about then, Port Ponky. In case you get lost, there is now a spatial UI element that does the Dead Space thing and tells you where to go. Now, I personally don't mind this at all, for the simple reason that you absolutely don't have to use it. It's entirely optional. You have to actively turn it on. But it feels weird in these old games to have it. A medic. Oh, I absolutely do not remember that being a thing. Interesting. That's either from late in the game or from one of the expansions. So those dudes are medics. Oh, yes. And a medic commander. Oh. Oh, I don't remember them either. So these people we're fighting are the Strog, and they are basically an evil race who kidnap humans and then cybernetic them. And if you ever played Quake 4, if you're one of the 4 people who played Quake 4, like me, then you will know that there's a horrific place where you get horrific scene where you get strogified in that, and it's really horrible. Used to spawn an enemy with a power screen. I do not remember them either. Oh, I see. So it's a shield they only get from the front. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. So again, there might be tutorializing some mechanics from later games as well. Oh. Cell weapons are more effective at penetrating power armor. In Quake 4, the quad damage is unknown because no one's played Quake 4. Oh! Oh, I remember those dogs with the tongues though. So the other thing they've done, apparently, is they've added in better AI and new moves for some of the old enemies. Moves that they were supposed to have but were taken out late in development because they broke. So I'll be interested to see that, if I recognise any. But yeah, for now, I think we should just get going with the new campaign. See if I can remember how to play Quake 2. I absolutely can't. I would normally play the basic Quake 2, but I recently replayed that with Quake 2 RTX, and it's upsetting how well I know the initial levels, including where all the secrets are. So let's play the new thing, because machine games are pretty good at making levels for these old school games. I'm going to be a chicken until I figure out how good I am. Oh, so glad I turned textures moving off. Chunky pixels. I don't remember Quake 2 printing the stuff on the screen previously. I wonder if they used to. So we have to deploy Marines from the adjacent rooms to collect all data to open a portal to the Strog Maker. So these are our little landing pods that we landed in the original Quake 2. Or at least you as the lead character, Bitterman, lands in and everyone else gets brutally murdered in. Yeah, this already looks like... Oh, this is the other thing. This is the first game I played with coloured lighting. I had to have a voodoo card for it. And I remember just losing my mind. I was like, oh my god, you can do coloured lighting. It's the best thing. So, it obviously horrifically overused coloured lighting where it could to show it off. Security off. Ooh, I like this. That's like something out of... That's like something out of Quake 1. Also, the gravity goes all weird when we go over that bit as well. Fun. I think it was more than the coloured lighting that screwed over Romero's next game. I guess that's the planet we were attacking in Quake as well. Alright, well. I guess we go through one of these doors. Is that the one we came through? That's probably the one we came through. I guess we go through one of these doors. Nope, that's the one we came through. And figure out where to go. Let's try this one. Operation Laser Eyes. Press button to deploy Marine. Oh, so this is like a level select hub we've got. Alright then. I have been hubbed. So you've got the option of Laser Eyes, Wasteland, and whatever this one was called that I didn't pay attention to. Corpse Run, classic. So we're deploying Marines from up here to go down to other ones. The other thing, this was only a year before Half-Life, and they share relatively similar engines because they both built off Quake, but built in different directions. One of the things I really liked, oh, we actually do get deployed, that's cute, is that both games did this whole connected level things. So Quake 2 was broken into these little sections of connected levels that you had to iterate backwards and forwards through, which was really nice. It made them feel like larger interconnected spaces, unlike single spaces in Doom. Quite a data disk. I wonder if each of us will get a different coloured pod. So, we have 3 goals and 4 secrets. Locate entrance to Security Annex. The other thing I remember about Quake, getting demonetised, is that, or Quake 2 I should say, is that the Hyper Blaster is one of the worst starting weapons in any of these games ever. I hate it so much. So hopefully, they give us shotguns pretty quickly. Oh. Straight into swimming, everybody's favourite part of old school shooters. This all seems important. I guess let's go through some sewer tunnels. I'm pretty sure it's at least partially Quake 2's fault as well that sewer tunnels were in every shooter for the next 20 years as well, because you go into sewer tunnels very early on in the Quake 2 campaign. Hello. Entrance is flooded. Activate pump station. I heard angry people somewhere. Did I not just activate the pump station? Oh. Cool, first person platforming as well. This is really giving you all the greatest hits from early 2000 shooters. Or late 1990s shooters. I think this was 97 from what I remember. I want that armour, please. Thank you. Oh, there he is. I was about to say I could hear some angry boy somewhere. No. Just the worst starting gun. Give me a shotgun already. Oh, that's rude, giving me the ammo for the shotgun and no shotgun. That's the other thing, sometimes when you kill them, they have little death animations that can sometimes shoot at you, which I always forget about and then get shot. I don't know, I stand by it being the worst one from this era. Compared to stuff like the Enforcer from Unreal, Unreal Tournament is real bad. It feels to me like they've made the lights pop more than they used to. That's cool. Also, I've noticed in their new campaign they're auto-saving for me. And this is a game that used to have to rely on a lot of quick saving. So that's interesting. Oh. Ah. Some delicious level design there where they're showing you the thing you've just activated. Love it. And giving you a quick way back around to it. Very nice. What's down here before I just bumbled in? I'm just going to quick save because I think... Yeah. I was about to say, I think that was going to happen. So I probably was meant to have the shotgun up there. Oops. I think I just swam past this whole area previously. Oh well, let us go over this new bridge we've just uncovered. Oh, flying enemies. That's... Oh, you boys are here early. It said as well that they've improved the... Oh, and the machine gun, hello. It said that they've improved the pathfinding of the flying enemies. They certainly seem to get up on you a lot quicker than I remember it. And be a lot more stabby than I remember. I always liked that the lasers just killed you. I thought that was quite suitable. You're going to a very hostile enemy base. Why would they mess around with that? Physics bridges. Oh, there's a lot of crush hazards in these games. One thing I always remember is that the lifts can squish you underneath them very quickly. I want to go down there. Okay. Oh, we're unflooding the entrance. Okay, cool. I guess I did the right thing. Let's see where this takes us out of the tunnel. Oh. There's some angry people up on that bridge still. Oh, I'm down here. Go away. Go away. I saw you getting back up for that. Of course, I can't actually remember how we got back up around there now. There was a big pipe. It went down the big pipe. I'm sure there's a better way to go back to where I was previously. Oh! 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 Okay, you've got a rocket launcher already. The other thing they've done is they've massively toned down the recoil on this machine gun, because that used to be like a really, really strong recoil. Oh, there's a machine gun up there as well. I definitely feel like I've missed a lot of this level. Oh well. Oh yes, as we're playing a suitably retro game, I've also got myself a very sugary can of fizzy pop. Just so I can absolutely get amped up on sugar. And not worry the consequences. That's an explosive barrel. Let's not stand next to that. Man, I remember how orange that sky was as well. Why are you there? Do you blow up a secret? No. Oh, you look like a secret though. Nice. Oh man, I'm so conditioned by modern games, I keep pressing R every time I've stopped firing to reload, and that is not a thing in the old Quake. But I do hear an enemy out here. See me to be up. Ow! More than one, apparently. It looks like that is going to move somehow. Oh, of course there was one hiding behind the box. I should know well enough. Oh no, it's one of those. I hate these. Good. It's good to know that the noise of the grenades being fired is so ingrained in my head that even though this doesn't have, I've not played this for about at least 20 years, I just immediately recognise it and want to move out the way. Also, that was the noise of some flying enemies I just recognised as well. Oh yeah, get that. Yep, this feels like a room for this. Ooh, grenades. I love them. Okay, I was hoping that would be a lift. It was not a lift. And that's... oh no, we can go through there. Yeah, so they're introducing later game enemies a lot earlier in this campaign. So I guess they're assuming you've played through at least the basic campaign by this point. Which, boy, do I kind of wish I had. Oh. I hear one of the stabby boys again. Clearly we shoot with those barrels, right? Yep. I do like they kept the thing that enemies get annoyed at each other and attack each other, though. That was always fun. And what you needed to kind of do for higher level play to save your ammo is get them to try and kill each other. And I want that, but I absolutely can't get to it. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Poor Ponky. It was always weird the way they laid out the health in these games. The other thing I didn't twig until just now, like I'd totally forgotten, is that health packs only heal you 10 health in this. Like, not 25, which is so ingrained as a standard in my head now. I want to get over there. That's got the chain gun. The chain gun is good. I guess we'll come back out over there. As I resolutely refuse to use the compass. That's a secret up there as well. Machine Games have been making... like, they were making maps for Doom and the various Quakes. Before they made Wolfenstein and stuff like that. So they will no doubt have hidden some secrets in very circuitous routes, as was the want of modders and level designers. It is odd that the monster infighting died. It felt like a really... it also made them, like, feel more characterful. Like, who wouldn't get annoyed if one of their idiot friends shot them in the back while they were trying to do their job? Oh my god, there was a ladder here the whole time. Oh, you've got a railgun. Okay. And you've got rockets. Oh, I don't like this room at all. Ow! Maybe just gonna do a cheeky quick save there, I think. Okay. That's a lot of grenades I just heard coming. Tell you what, super shotgun still feels pretty satisfying. Ooh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, never mind. That went quite well. Thank you, rocket. Ah, thank you, grenade launcher even. Okay, so that thing beforehand obviously wasn't shooting... Upsetting. Obviously wasn't shooting rockets, because I'm now shooting someone else is shooting rockets at me, and they're very different looking. So what on earth was the other person shooting at me? Stop it. Would you stop it with your triple grenade nonsense? That's more than free. Oh, that's why. There's more than one of you. Rightio. Yeah, that is kind of a Don't like that. Oh, so many grenades. So many grenades. Yeah, there was also a huge amount of explosive barrels in that area that I shot into as well. Yeah, we're gonna maybe... I don't remember if Quake 2 has the same thing as Quake, where explosive weapons aren't as good against some baddies as others. Because to be honest, I didn't even realise that was a Quake thing until more recently. Oh my goodness, 96 enemies in this level. Cool. You just wanted something, didn't you? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, let's ammo up in here. Well, also in Quake, the Shamblers took half damage from rockets. Yeah, no, it's the Shambler took half from rockets. It was really annoying. I did not realise that until very much later in life. I needed to jump around to get that, and I fluffed it. I mean, I'm going to try something. I think it's a terrible idea. Oh, it's possible. Classic. I'm surprised that only took 2 attempts, if I'm honest. I did get my training wheels for rocket jumping off this game, but grenade jumping is a lot more annoying. Oh, I didn't know that about the Cyber Demon. It was, from my understand, it was because it was to make the really big enemies feel stronger. Because the first thing that you want to do is attack them with your biggest weapon, which was normally like your rockets or your grenades, and it helped them feel stronger. And also, it was this whole thing about trying to convince you to change up what guns you were using too. Oh, I forgot how quickly that chewed through ammo. Did its job though. Okay, cool. Yeah, as I said, I think it was also partly to try and convince you to use different weapons. Use your whole arsenal. Now, use the red keycard to unlock the control room. Thank you. Because I'd not seen where we needed to put a red keycard in. Oh, have you monster... Oh! I was just about to say, have you monster closeted it? And then there was a literal monster closet. Ow! That was a little close. I mean, it makes sense when you put it like that, poor Ponky, that the red keycard was needed near the red lasers. I just not noticed that on the way past. Nope. It's up back through here. As with all these old games, you can tell where you need to go. Oh, that was satisfying. You can tell where you need to go simply by seeing where there's still living enemies. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to end very badly. Okay. Well, we're not having that. That was just too terribly wasted. Use the quad damage, you idiot. Oh wait, was that was like a medic that they said to watch out for? It is. Oh, I do not remember those, and I do not like them. Ow. I didn't really see what got me there. But quad damage. Quad damage was a good idea. We're doing that. Good. I saw that door open. There's an enemy coming through there. A few of them coming through there. Okay, I forgot how much fun the quad damage plus grenade launcher was. Oh, did I get railgunned? Yeah, that rings about true. Okay. Glad that I didn't put this on a more tricky difficulty level now, because yeah, this end bit is a bit nails. Let's just punt some blind into there, I think. Ow! Yes, that is very much what I'm trying to do, is to try and get those nasties up there with the quad damage. I'm just not being very successful at it, unfortunately. Oh, what a shot. How do you keep getting missed? Oh! Yes. Getting hit with your own quad damage grenade are real bad. Oh, I heard that. Okay. How are we looking? Oh my god, still so many enemies. There is some health down here, so we'll get that. Goodness. Right. So I can see that these levels are going to be much harder than the OG. Oh yeah, there's the red keycard icons. I can see these levels are going to be much harder than the OG levels, because they can spaff for way more enemies' ass. Oh! I was about to say, there's some infighting going on up here. Wait. I also have this. So let's use this. I also have absolutely no idea when I picked this gun up. But cool. Ah, that is some lovely, lovely lighting effects. Like projector lighting effects over there. Delicious CD. Really the height of technology. And what all advanced alien species would of course use. The comms bunker entrance. Okay. I have no idea how to do that, but sure. I was about to say, I'm sure I heard something. Damn, those railguns are brutal. Well, these won't be real-time shadows either. The games back then faked them all with projectors, right? So all it's doing is projecting a lighting sprite on the wall. But yeah, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure Quake 2 didn't have those. But those types of projector shadows, I remember thinking for ages, how on earth did they do those? And then I found out and I was kind of disappointed. It is very zoetropy. That is true. Ah. I am worried by the amount of people we've still got left to kill, honestly. This is also classic old school level design as well, where throughout the level you just get higher and higher through the level. So it's all in quite a compressed space. Oh, you sneaky monkey. Oh, I do not remember you. Don't like you either. Everyone line up for the railgun, please. Thank you. You are so much bigger than I remember you being. Oh my goodness. I do not remember the later levels of Quake 2 very much at all. The kind of first few sections of the campaign are burnt in my memory. The later sections I don't remember at all. Ah, hello, obvious button. Oh. What the heck are you? No, 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 no. Oh, that's bad. That's very bad. Well then. Well then. That's new, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it. Got adrenaline. I can't remember what adrenaline does. I don't really have anything else. I think that mutant was an absolute git. Okay, like this. This does a lot of damage. No, no jumpies. Oh, thank goodness. Right, okay, cool. I don't know. Let's find out now, as I just got severely injured. Oh yeah, it just looks like it takes you back to 100% health thing. Doesn't seem temporary. Okay then. Well, that's out of ammo. Huh. Oh, we missed one enemy. Oh well. Okay. Already quite enjoying the new campaign from Machine Games. So these levels are definitely bigger and more packed with enemies than a lot of the original levels. Oh, goodness, I don't remember you either. Okay, that did like the dog tongue thing, which was always horrible. That looks like deadly fog. That's a shootable button, which lets us go back around there. So I guess we need to go back up around there, hit the other button, and maybe zig and zag backwards and forwards to progress along these pathways. Oh! Did not react in time for that. Oh, and more flying ones. Oh, still a lot of flying ones left, okay. Yeah, I think I got him. Alright. And quick save. Always be quick saving. Ooh. Got blue lasers, red lasers, and now also green lasers. I approve. All of the lasers of the solar spectrum. They might be good lasers, but I still don't want to touch them. Oh, that's the rocket launcher, question mark? Man, I forgot how weird the models looked in Quake 2. Well, that's obviously a monster closet. That's obviously a monster closet. And they've just given me a rocket launcher. So, and no way back out of here. So, quick save. Ow, ow, ow. Oh! Oh no. That was a lot more enemies than I was expecting. Oh god, there's 131 in this level. Alright, yeah. Each one maybe unlocks a different monster closet. Let's just see if we can get out of the main hub. There's probably a bit more cover. Ow! And then get shot really hard in the face. Oh dear. Okay. Each of these does unlock a different monster closet. Can we deal with them one by one? It's not looking promising. Oh no, okay, so we can, if we don't hit that last button. Bugger off. You big stabby oh, how are you not done? How many rockets do you take? Okay, so they definitely seem buffed against rockets. Hello, whoever that was in the chat. I will take a look when I'm not being stabbed very hard repeatedly in the face. Oh, hey Scott, thank you for joining us in the new campaign by Machine Games where I'm getting pulped so badly. However, we maybe are going to use that. And the joy of the railgun going through multiple enemies. Let's line some of them up. satisfying. Okay, that certainly made that easier. Go away as well. It definitely feels like overkill using the railgun on the little grunts. Not on you though. Alrighty. Killed the first one, the second one ran around the corner. Oh, okay. They do seem to be able to really tank, no pun intended, the rockets though. They seem to go down a lot quicker to other types of ammo. Ooh. Ooh, are you the BFG? I want you. I want you quite badly. Need to turn these lasers off. So I can go get my new one and only true love. We're going to need the blue keycard to turn the lasers off, I suspect. It feels weird using a railgun without having like the ability to zoom in at all. It's taxing my old eyes. Well, that felt quite good though. Like I was capable. Very, very temporarily capable. Okay. Man, they love their lasers in this place. My goodness. Quick save. So I guess this will turn the red lasers off. What? Why would the red button turn the green lasers off? I mean, just boo. Boo to that. Do you not remember these little robot dudes? With the laser eyes, apparently. And let's not jump into the fog. Before I go off that way, I assume... Oh, yeah, I do that, yeah, it's behind the blue lasers. I do fall off things and explode in midair. It's my sort of thing. That really distresses me that turns off the green lasers. Oh, good throw. Even if I do say so myself. Right, let us go and figure out what on earth I'm supposed to be doing. That was the way... Yeah, that had to go round. So I should be pressing on this way, I suspect. Good. Good. Back to this outer ring of corridors. Pro tip, don't fall off and explode in mid. I mean, I'll try, but no promises. Oh, I guess I was supposed to do that. But I just decided to jump up there. Feels weird in an id game to have ladders. Not sure how I feel about that. A cheeky little quick save. Sat go back up. Lovely. Well, they look like they're having a lovely time over there. Oh! See, they had red lasers as well. Why was the red button not to turn off the red lasers? Makes no sense. Ow! Oh, that's going to annoy me. Good. Annoyance dealt with. Although I am very badly wounded. Ow. You can go away. Oh no. One of several annoyances. Gonna have some fizzy pop. Just to feel suitably retro. Now I've spilt Vimto on myself. It really is like the 90s. Actually, if I wanted it to be fully like the 90s, I would have spilt Tizer on myself. Which was definitely my drink of choice when I was a sugar-ad old teenager. And before I found Red Bull. Delicious, very, very bad for you, Red Bull. Right. Let's see if we can do this without shooting ourselves in the face. Which is a really, really basic hope, but an important one, I think. Red Bull, if you drink too many of them in a day as a teenager, gives you severe withdrawal symptoms, where you just have cold sweats and can't stop quivering. It also gives you a lifelong realization that maybe you shouldn't drink Red Bull. Oh, that's annoying. Right, let's just snipe him instead, as that's instant. Good. No, wait. That's not where I'm supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be going this way. Around all the laser grids. And the poorly explained pistons. Right. Not that one. Always be super shotgunning if I don't need anything specific. Okay, well I guess the enemies can't go through the laser grids, so that's good to know. I suspect this is going to turn off the red laser grids. So upsetting about the colour coordination. Anyway. There's a quad damage up there. We've killed fewer than half the enemies in this level. Ow, 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 ow. I really wanted to go through the door there. And totally missed it, and then got rocketed quite hard. So let's try that again. Yellow key. Okay. How are we doing for rockets? We have some rockets. And this monster of Strog technology is trying to give us some more, which is very generous of it, but I'm not entirely convinced I wish to accept. Okay, grenade launcher for aerial enemies, not the best idea, but I did get them. I also am shocked how visceral the grenade launcher noise is in my head. It is so burnt into my memory. It is quite silly. Right, there was an ammo up here. Ammo pack, lovely. Can you maybe spot the textures that are made slightly newer for this this one? You know, the ones you can read because they've got more than 4 pixels. Awaiting data, dish misaligned.
Strong intelligence data files downloaded.
Ah, classic.
Computer updated.
Back out to the outer complex. Realign satellite dish before transmitting data. Okay. Well, we saw there was a place for us to use that yellow keycard somewhere. We've put our CD in a lovely vertical CD player, which, as we all know, is the coolest way to play CDs. As Techmoan can attest to. We'll just grab those, I think. No idea where this is going to take us. Oh, this is giving me Half-Life 1 flashbacks. Half-Life 1 flashbacks to the head crab funicular is what I was going to say before a really shocking amount of enemies suddenly appeared out of nowhere. See, the blue lasers have the right colours. No, the blue lasers have the right colours. We've just disabled them. Which means we might have just unlocked the BFG. Which, if so, we absolutely have to go find that. Oh yeah, it's all down there. Lovely. More health first, though. Oh, that's a monster closet as well. Right. Oh. Yes. Just quick save. I can't remember what the BFG looks like in this one. It's that one. Yes, this might be my favourite incarnation of the BFG. It's the one I think it is. It basically attacks enemies all the way down before exploding. Lovely. Yeah, that's probably overkill. But, if we fire it down that way... So, those ones with the kind of the claw arms, they can jump now. They didn't used to be able to jump. So that upsets me. That upsets me slightly. Oh, we're back into this bit. Yeah, okay. So this is the very first level from this campaign. So it's showing off that thing I was talking about where you can kind of jump backs and forwards between different levels and make these big contiguous spaces, which Half-Life then also did, obviously quite famously. Go away, silly flying enemies. So, that's always suspicious. Yeah. Yeah. So, massive boss fight arena with a quad damage in the middle. So let's trigger that and let's see what this is capable of. Huh. So the chain gun with quad damage, yeah, that's pretty good. If it hadn't been demonetized beforehand when the VOD goes up, I'm pretty sure that would have just done it. Right, it's so weird to think that this used to be like one of the high-level video nasties. Everyone was saying, "Oh my god, it's so disgusting and so graphic." You look at it now, and yeah, it's obviously brutal and it's obsessed with guns, but compared to something like the modern Mortal Kombat, it's just kind of twee, almost. It's like, oh, look at the small amount of red pixels. Why is it letting me come out here though? Where does it want me to go? Oh, so I guess that's the satellite dish we're supposed to be realigning. So we follow the cables. It seems like it should be in this building. There's a ladder up there. Is he supposed to be able to get up there somehow? What the? There's a ladder in the middle, you absolute idiot. That just looked like a bit of wall to me. Ah, tired, stupid eyes. Right, there we go. Ow! Oh, my knees. My old broken knees. Yep. This seems like a time for that. Only, you know, done competently. That was so bad. So bad. Right. Why? Yeah, these levels are a lot more brutal, goodness. They can duck now as well. What? They never used to be able to duck. I'm not convinced about giving all these enemies additional powers. That feels unfair. Seeing as all I've done in the last 2 decades is lose powers. Oh no! Stop it with the monstrous tongue dogs. Okay, I'm gonna go and have a look over here because this feels like there's platform secret territory. Oh, nice. Also, ow, my knees again. How did you let me come down here? I thought there was going to be a way through. Doesn't look like there's a way through. Okay. Come on, ladder. I'm now, of course, completely lost. Now I've jumped down here. Because we need to get back up right to the top of the level. Now I've leapt off it with a cavalier attitude to knees. That's the way out of this level. I suspect they would have made a shortcut back up to the top, but you know, let's see what the compass has to say about it. Oh yeah, perfect. Thanks, compass. Alright, that is a occasionally helpful function. Let's just not be holding the rocket launcher for when I panic shoot things, because stuff's definitely going to come out of that door. Oh no, we've killed all the enemies. And I can't remember if Quake can secretly hide enemies in that count or not. Such a classic old school effect with the lights going up the tower like that. Love it. With all the like really chunky sounding relay switching. That was what, when I first started making levels, that was like the first thing I wanted to figure out how to do. Those little sequenced things. Right. Yeah, health in here? No, that would be good. Because I have severely broken my knees. Ooh, health. Yeah, and the way back through was over here somewhere? Somewhere. Question mark. Sit back around this way, maybe. That's one way, but I don't think it's the correct way. Let's be cheeky again. Ah, I knew it was around here somewhere. Thank you, compass. Okay, and we've only got 51 enemies left to kill in this level. My goodness. Oh, and there's a bunch of them. So squishy. That's a big boy. Let's get one of the big boy weapons out. Oh, there's a couple of big boys. Okay, must have done a lot of damage to them with the grenades already, so that's nice. Yeah, there was a lot of enemies in that very, very squishy corridor. Oop. Oh no, there's grenades. I don't think I like opening doors in this game. They always seem to be quite full of absolute bastards. Oh, there's more flying ones up there as well. Oh no! Thank you, level designer. That's very kind of you. Giving idiots like me a way back out of the pit they've just flung themselves into for no good reason. That is... Ow. That's some adrenaline in there. Can I slip off the edge? I think we just want to slip off this edge just slightly. There we go. Yeah, one of the easier secrets, to be fair, game. Okay, so 4 more enemies somewhere. I'm assuming as we're coming to the end of... It feels like we're coming to the end of this campaign, that they're going to be big enemies as well. Maybe we have to go back up this funicular, don't we? Yep, there's one of them. Oh, and he's got a shield on him. Nope, there's more than just one of them. One of them's a literal tank. Wait, do I have any of you left? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad that we had a bunch of high-power weapons left for that, because otherwise that would have been very messy, I suspect. Still one enemy left, though. Which either I've missed, or he's going to be a big one at the end. I would bet big one at the end. Oh, not that big. Just normal size big for this campaign. I think that's coming around to try and find me. Hooray! All enemies dealt with. Ready to upload, so whoop.
Communication uplink established.
Nice. Now we get a little celebratory flyby. Oh. Where I guess they bomb the facility I'm in. Well, thanks, I guess. Nice. So I guess each of these little sub-campaigns, probably by a different level designer, they've each made their own little sub-campaign, which all feeds back into this one, which is quite a nice little structure. Let's go see if there's other ones. So we went to that side. Let's go see this side. Yeah, there's a bunch more in here as well. Operation Firewall. Ruined Earth. Or Darkest Depths. If anyone's still in the chat, would you like to pick out of those 3? Ruined Earth, Firewall, or Darkest Depths? While I ever think about that, I am going to fill myself with Vimto. Because I clearly need more sugar for the next one. And there are other ones as well. I guess it might be 6 campaigns, 3 off each side. Guess it looks like... looks like there's a winner. So let's go and deploy a Marine to Operation Ruined Earth. Which feels appropriate. Man, I like that each of these you do get dropped in. That's cute. Apparently we might be Brickslayer in this one. Lost contact with Unit MG3. Search the area to find out what happened. Alrighty. Okay. We have definitely dropped into a sewer. Yep, we have definitely dropped into a sewer complex. And these are very non-standard Quake textures. That's interesting. What are you? What's a gold Quake 2 symbol? Oh, I want it. I want it quite badly. Oh, I guess let's just pick one. Ah, thank you, level designer. Yay! Unthank you, level designer. I don't remember those enemies at all from playing Quake 2. So I wonder if they're either late game or in some of the expansions, because they would have had all the expansion stuff to play with as well in making these. Alright. Checking for secrets. No obvious secrets. Oh no. My beloved super shotgun I don't have yet. So we just have to play with normal rubbish shotgun. This is very reminiscent of the Quake 1 jumpy spiky boy that I can never remember the name of. I always used to call Shamblers, but they're not the Shamblers, they're the really big ones. But yes, very reminiscent of those, and I didn't really like them in Quake. They always gave me the willies. So I'm not convinced about them being here. Ah! Please, leave me alone, you jumping monstrosity. Actually got a torch. Like an auto torch that only turns on when the game wants it to turn on. How very modern game design. The remake of Res Evil 4 recently had that. Oh. I'm starting to sense a pattern with these things. Just dropping in on me when I'm not wanting them. I guess it's down that way. There's nothing that way. Let's drop down the hole. Your helmet cam shows multiple dead Marines try to find survivors.
Computer updated.
Okay. In my experience with Quake, there aren't normally many survivors. Neither Quake or Quake 2. Man, yeah, it's weird playing Quake. Quake 2 and not having the really orangey skybox. And having more kind of realistic textures. This definitely feels like a more modded level that you'd get back in the day. Which I do enjoy. I always used to like the fact that there was like these very odd modded levels doing the rounds as well. That's where we came out. Okay. Oh. Oh, wow. We are getting chain gun to pieces. Thank you. Let's return the favour a little bit. They are some big drill bits. This feels like a platforming secret that I can't get to. So my platforming's not very good in this. They hurt if I run into them. Oh, yeah, a little bit. There's a rocket launcher through there as well. And also, obviously, a lot more dead Marines. I don't think we can get through to that bit here. We probably have to go round through the mining tunnels. I imagine loop back around. Oh, I would like a better shotgun already. Those drills are going to be used all over the place to block off routes, aren't they? Ow! Say, I heard another flying one, couldn't see it. Man, this is some bleak level design. Feeling very deprived ex-mining town right now. Good. Some ammo, and I saw some machine gun ammo down there, so we'll get that as well. And obviously the health. Right. The doors feel a bit big. Oh. They are all lost, not only the dead. Find that disc marine. Okay. Bleak. So then, I guess down one of these. Doesn't look like we can go down that one. Maybe we have to come back up that one. Definitely looks like there's a little secret goodie in there. No, we don't really need it though. We can move on. I'm not going to try and dig too hard for secrets in this run. Or more running about shooting things. Oh, yes, please. Armour, please. Definitely feels like I need that. Thanks to these shambling horrors of the sewers. Go away. Man, they are tough. And numerous. Right, well, that was attacking me though. I did see this. So we'll grab that at least. Oh, I heard noises out here. What the heck are those? Okay, there's also monstrous swimming things now as well. Those I don't remember either, so that's horrifying. I'll explain why I don't remember what noise, or didn't recognise the noise they were making. Oh man, I do not recognise any of these creatures in this this level. It's really weird. One more to go. So we have to go over there and flick the other flashing thing, and then hopefully that will make this water wheel start working for some reason. It's deeply unsettling that those water creatures are just like singing. Huh. Oh. I really should have learnt by now that when there's an opening like that, one of them will drop in. That feels jumpable. Yeah, it feels jumpable. That probably was jumpable as well if I actually jumped at the right time. These old games were not particularly generous with your coyote time, so if you miss the jump, they do not care. Oh. Also, if you bump your head off something above you, that's another way it can absolutely stuff you. Right, there we go. Thanks, game. Ooh, goodies. Ooh, necessary goodies. That is a distressing number of them. Yep, that is for real too many. Just an undulating mass of monster right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, quick save after that. Bloody hell. Clearly these new Machine Games levels do not mind messing about. It's not actually been technically that many enemies in this level, but there have been a lot of big ones, so it feels quite... It feels like we've had a lot of fighting. There we go. Let's get that down. Let's turn on the water wheel. Oh. Kind of disappointed I didn't turn on the water wheel. Back into some more sewer pipes, I guess. With the weird singing monsters. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Almost feel bad about that. Very almost. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's just a double damage. That's not a quad damage. Huh. Okay. Not a pickup I remember at all. But I'm going to guess... probably quite a useful one. It makes you go gold rather than blue. Those green shields on as well, but we don't have any energy weapons apart from our basic one. Hence why we probably needed the double damage just to break through it. Yeah, probably great that we got that when we did. Well, that fight would have been a lot meaner. Okay. We've killed everyone in this level at least. So now I guess we just need to find our way out. This door? Yep, that looks promising. That's one of the old school gamer airlocks. Okay. Find a way on board the Strog ship and shut down their drilling operation. Okay then. I guess we're going up and hopefully out of these gloomy sewer tunnels. Ba-ba-ba. Let's try not to drown too much in sewage. That would be an embarrassing way. Very embarrassing way to go. Now we're only allowed to carry 2 of each pickup. Cool. Which I do think probably is a lot more generous than I remember it being previously. That's not a gun I recognise. How do we get up there? There's a rocket launcher in there as well. There is goodies. Yeah, we're back on the... We've looped back round to the first level. Must be through there, right? It's the only obvious other way to go. What about that route? So drill in that direction. That way... blocked off. Aha! Got here. Oh, there's an even bigger bad down that corridor. Oh, it spat us out on the other side of all these drills that were blocking us previously. That's what's happened. It's the biggest gun we've got right now. Chain gun. I'll have to do... Oh, no rockets. That hurt a lot. I'm not sure if that hurt enough that we need to reload, but let's keep going. See if we can find any additional health around here. No. Yeah, these medkits are giving more than 10 health. That's interesting. I wonder if they've been boosted in the Machine Games ones. Or if there was just different medkits in the original Quake 2 that gave you different health. We're into the belly of the beast, now shut down those drills. Hello! I don't even recognise the blue projectiles they're firing. That must be from a gun from the expansion as well. We need to use the data CD. Ah! So here's our uplink. So they've obviously agreed on a... Yeah, see, those only give me 10 each. They've obviously agreed on a little standard dish to use, which is cool. Because that one gave me more. Yeah, there must just be 2 different types of medkits. I haven't been being observant. You can have both my new grenades. Oh, I've got more than 2. You can have all my new grenades then. Yeah, let's gone quite poorly, if I'm honest.
Computer updated.
All I've got is adrenaline. So we'll deal with these two. These three, I should say. And their friends. At least we can heal up before going on to the even bigger baddies. Yep. Sorry game, wasn't trying to upload it. Was just trying to not be shot and failing. Okay, cool. So, pick up all of these gubbins, including the armor shards. That's another noise that's really embedded in my head as well, incidentally. Now, over to the other side. So we have to go the way we were going previously. Let's get out our chain gun. No. Or you can auto swap if you want, game. Okay. Do love me some chain gun. Are you going to open? Nope, you open from the other side. Not even convinced you're an actual openable door. What the hell are you? Some of the Marines have laser guns now as well. What the heck? There is a lot of weird additional stuff I do not recognise at all. Which I'm guessing is from the expansions. I hope we get to play with some of the expansion guns, because I knew they added in some additional guns. What do you do? Oh, 5 more to go. Alright then. Yeah, those green projectiles are slightly different to what I'm used to as well. Don't know how we get down to that. I don't think that was dead. Right, let's just try going down here. Oh, good. There's a medic and a lot of monsters down here. Oh, it's one that spawns other Marines. Fantastic. Oh, I don't like the noises these ones make either. Yeah, okay. Not a fan of the nightmare-inducing spider creatures that crawl over the ceilings. Not at all. It feels like we're just going to have to deal with them, because it looks like they're going to be a real major part of this level, unfortunately. Also, I've dropped down. I don't see a way to get back up. Which was potentially dumb of me. So I guess we're going down this route now. Oh my god, do not like them. They're not even particularly noticeable when they're on the ceiling either. Oh my goodness. Okay, more shells, that's good. I always feel more comfortable with the super shotgun, especially when facing unknown monstrosities like those ceiling crawlers. Ooh, no, no, no. Oh cool, they can jump too. That helps. More armor, a bit more health. Oh, there's even more of them down here. Okay, it's also fair to say I am so hilariously... Oh, you weren't dead. I am so hilariously lost in this level right now. I have no idea where I'm going. Okay, running to where there's enemies, normally a good sign. Oh, that's a spawny one. Yeah, that's going to do me. Okay, so... Ha! This might be a problem. Yeah, this might be a real problem. Unless I can get the one that's actually spawning them. And they are surprisingly tough. Okay. Okay, ow. Basically. That's where we dropped down before. Oh, I'm so damaged. I feel like I need to go get some health from somewhere. Oh, I didn't quick save after either, did I? Yeah, and the game's still running, brain. Don't use that gun. Why'd I swap to this rubbish shotgun? Out of all the options. No, this is going to be real rough. Okay, we're going to have to go with that, because that's the... managed to save a tiny amount of health there. Oh, there's health up there as well. Let me have the health. You're going to make me drop down for that, aren't you? There's definitely baddies up there I don't think I can defeat with the current amount of health I've got. Oh! Yeah, railgun through the head. That seems inevitable at the moment. Okay. Is there anything anywhere around here? Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, you can do one, mate, right now, frankly. Okay. Okay, that's a bit better. So much stuff that I need to drop down to get, I just can't get back up to right now. That's just mean. Okay. Where was the route forward? It was up here. Let's do this. Let's quick save it there. Get some grenades out. Hike them left and right. One forwards while we're at it. And then we're going to fall off. Classic. Oh, this level is completely stuffing me. Oh my goodness. So one forwards, that seemed to be good. Man, it suffers a little bit, I think, from the same problem that a bunch of the Quake 1 levels have. The people making them have played the game so much that their difficulty is definitely skewed really upwards compared to sort of the original game, which is fine if you've played it, but I haven't played it for a while and I am doing absolutely gubbins. We do have some chain gun ammo back though, so oh, we were doing so well. We're doing so well. I don't know if... yeah, well, let's keep going. Not going to quick save, though, just in case. Okay, how many have we got left? We have... I wasn't paying attention, I was too busy. Really hoping for health. Oh, this let us drop down on. Well, it would if I didn't miss completely. Cool, so we can get some more armour if nothing else, which is good. Shortcut back through here. Jumping up the boxes. Let's jump up the boxes. And then see if we can get that armour, because that armour, I think, is going to be very, very necessary. Lovely. Okay. Alright. Is there any more ammo down there? No. How many am I missing? Have I shut them all down there? Because he did one over there. 2. So there's 5 left after you did the first one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like, feels like I'm missing 1. There's obviously a route back along here. Take us back to the beginning, I think. Yeah, we did that one. Yeah, we did that one. I don't think we've been up this way. Ow. Yeah, okay, so that's the last one up there. Do we have anything? That's probably the best thing we've got for them. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, I saw that one coming. He didn't dodge out the way in time. Oh, we just got them at the end there. So this is doable. We just need to get shot less. Which I understand is a universal bit of advice in all these games. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take it. We're just going to be running off very low health for this entire thing by the look of it. Just been shut down. Find a way to return out of the ship and return to Earth. Yep. Okay, so we saw that right at the beginning of this level when we got completely lost. There was some doors out this way. Oh, cool, they've got shields on as well. Hey, Port Ponky, welcome back. What is kicking is me and the bucket repeatedly on this level. There's the shield down. But we've started making progress again, so that's nice. You can go away, and you can go away as well. We have shut down the drills that are apparently drilling Earth for some reason. And we have to find our way back. Back to Earth, I guess, to then go and see what's happening down there. Oh, thank goodness. Everybody get stuffed, please and thank you. I said everyone. Thank you. And we're encountering a bunch of enemy types and kind of projectile types I don't recognise that I have theorised are from some of the expansions I never played, including monstrous crab things that are crawling along the ceiling and jumping on my face, which I am not a fan of. Not even a little bit. So I'm quite happy they've given us a good gun again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right. And we've also seen that gun back down on Earth that we couldn't get to yet. That I suspect will be the version of this that fires blue projectiles I don't recognise. Alrighty, I guess through here. We've had our brief respite from sewer pipes. It's time for us to return home. It seems. Oh, which means we're going to get some more of those monsters dropping down from above us. That's a grenade launcher. It's the first time we've been anywhere near max health for a while as well, so that's definitely quick save. I'm also surprised we haven't got monstered when we picked up the grenade launcher. I am suspicious. But okay. Oh, there is a monster. With rockets. Sorry, game. You were trying to plot at me there while I was getting murdered. Let's try that again. Nope, that's not the one I wanted, game. Ah, oh, for goodness sake. Being on the right gun. Let's go on the right gun before we go through that door. There we go. The joys of playing these older games on the modern machines is they don't offload the levels quicker than they used to. Man, on old hard drives, these levels used to take for ages. Right. Quick save there. I see another double damage in the distance. Also see someone attacking us with those blue projectiles again. Which which are not the same as the hyper blasters. I still haven't figured out what they actually are. There's one over there as well. Okay, that was a satisfying rail shot. Alrighty. Oh! Could have done without strafing straight into that rocket, if I'm honest. Alright, that was the death noise. Perfect. So, you can get that double damage. Don't need it just yet. I did see... Oh, I'm such an idiot. I forgot I had adrenaline that I could have used in the last level. I was about to say is I did see another adrenaline that's over there. Can't quite see how to get to it. It's definitely too... say it's definitely too far. It's definitely too far to jump. That's got its shield on, which means we need... ideally we need Hyper Blaster, but I don't have that right now. I was looking at my inventory, thank you please. Oh wow. The weapon wheel actually slows time, like Super Hots it. That's nice. It's a nice way of making it a bit kinder than the game used to be without taking away all of the danger. Good. Do one, please. Oh, yeah. You hadn't finished doing one. I do apologise. Right, so we don't want to fall in those drill holes, what with them being full of lava. But we should now have... Oh, I was really hoping to be able to get around them. We should now have Hyper Blaster is what I was going to say before I got nearly punched to death. It's so weird they can go prone now to dodge you. That's new as well. They used to be able to duck but not go fully prone. That plus the fact they can jump off platforms and the grenadey boys can leap at you from a distance. It makes them a lot meaner than they used to be. No, no dodging. Thank you. Oh no, there's grenades everywhere. I really lose all sense of self-preservation when I've got a quad damage or a double damage. And it's like, oh cool, I can shoot everything now. And off I go without any thought about what it's going to do to me. How do I get that? Hi there. Oh, are you expecting me to rocket jump for it? You might be expecting me to rocket jump for it because you just gave me the rocket. Cool. They were indeed. No, okay, I've obviously been out here previously. I guess we could have come all the way back round. Around here. And found it this way. I prefer my solution. I always like rocket jumping as a mechanic, so any game that lets me use it makes me a happy boy. Let's not stick on the rocket launcher though, just for now, in case I accidentally shoot myself when something jumps out at me. So we must be getting to the end of this little campaign now, as we've been up to space and back down again. Classic, completely missing the first rocket. Oh, last rocket got it though. And we're back around the other side of this where we started really early on. Yeah, we came out of there and there was a drill in there. Go around that route. Nice. Just get a quick save it cheekily. Just to confirm. Ah yeah, we went in and around all those areas. Nice. It's a very old school level design where it all wraps through around itself. Always pleasing. Now, a slight issue. I have absolutely no memory of where I've seen a red keycard again before. So... Ah, mega health, nice. So, we're going to have to go and... have a bit of an explore, I guess. Oh yeah, because we'll need to get the data disk and then go back up. And then go back up to the spaceship to transmit it, because... That's how we got all those things we couldn't see before. We couldn't get before. Because the satellite is on the spaceship. This is very much back to the start. So we need to get the data disk and then go back up there. So the red keycard must get us something around here somewhere. I can jump back over here. Makes me think that maybe we're supposed to be going back that way and exploring where all the drills have retracted. But the fact there's new enemies over here, always a good sign. That looks like a red keycard door. Ah, it's a rocket. Didn't dodge that in time. And then for the other enemy, I saw they had a green shield. We switched to our energy weapon. Okay. That went better than I expected it to, if I'm honest. Of how this run in particular has been going. Ooh, 3 rockets, thank you. Health. Okay. Also, there's that new gun that we've not managed to actually get our hands on yet. That was around here somewhere. See, that's going to take us away. Away. So. Yeah, there's all that stuff up there that we get to somehow. So I want to see if I can go find that gun that we saw. Pretty sure it's on this level somewhere. It's up there. So how do we get up there? Let's see from the other side of that wall somehow. Be up into that bit. We did get up into that bit through rocket jumping, but we can... There was another way up there. Down in the water somewhere. I've sort of committed to this because there's no way back out once you jump into here. So. Is there adrenaline up there as well? Oh, no, this takes us to an entirely different level. So I have definitely got myself turned around. Come on, jumping. Ugh, come on, jumping. We might be able to do a cheeky rocket jump up here, though. Oh! We might be able to do a cheeky rocket jump up there, though. Had we remembered to quick save all the way back here. Okay, slightly less good that time, but that's what you get for not quick saving after a little mini boss battle. Because the game is definitely going to tell us to go through that door, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go through here and assume it loops us back round somehow. More bodies. You're getting closer, the disc must be nearby. Strog super tank, you say? Okay. Okay, well, thanks for the BFG. That definitely helped, game. Right, well, that was slightly anticlimactic as they gave us the BFG, actually. But I am not going to complain too hard. I am going to instead... It's so weird seeing them go prone. I'm instead going to take the Hyper Blaster and keep pressing on. Well, that CD's in a suboptimal storage location. That's going to get grass and dirt all over it. There it is. Okay. And it's just launching other enemies at us. Okay. Okay, more ammo. More ammo is good right now. Okay. Gives us enough for 2 BFG 10,000 shots as well, which might do us. Oh, okay, apparently not quite enough. But enough to hopefully finish it off with the hyper cannon. No, no, no. Yeah, okay, so that was just a little pre-boss fight previously, obviously. It's just circle strafe, quite a lot. Oh, and quick save. No, no secrets hiding on one of these. Okay then. pit. Oh, okay, I've got a bunch of rockets, which is good. Because I don't have much else. And it's got a shield. It's got through my armor now. Okay, we've taken out the shield. That will make it a bit easier. Oh, you've got a shield as well. Great. I'm running out of every ammo. And there is so clearly stuff up here. Thank you. Oh, that was really quite underwhelming stuff, if I'm honest. Okay, I've got a grenade launcher. Guess that's going to have to do us. The shield down at least. Ah, oh, frustrating getting hit by all those rockets. Okay, more armor please. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do it better. I'm not a fan of these, like, more insta-hit weapons for these guys. Definitely feels much rougher. Let's maybe use the grenades now we know we've got them on this dude. As he's massive and probably quite hard to miss with grenades. And we just cheekily hide behind these boxes and totally game as AI, which is... it feels very old school game as well. Oh, the other one's come into play. But we still have rockets for the other one. Whoa! Come on, take down his shield. Right, there goes the shield. And there goes them. Okay, goodness. Yeah, I am so low on all the ammo. Get some cheeky stim packs from up here. There's clearly some additional ammo up there as well. A cheeky door there. Oh, there's more through there. Of course there's more through there. Got some more stuff for the railgun at least. And then... yeah, they've not got a shield, so that'll make them a bit easier. Don't sidestep into the rocket, he says to his own brain as he does exactly that. Okay. Is there something weird going on around there? Hump indeed. The joy of old school games where they have exactly and precisely one sound effect for every action. You can't even go through there. I'm just going to give up on the stuff up there. It's going to take us back up to the main ship. Oh, we're not going to get that weird looking gun. That's oh, that's sad. guess I will leave that as an exercise for myself in the future to go find it. Oh, get on the left this time. No! Oh, come back. Come back. Basically, all I've got left is shotgun ammo. Okay, got everything in this level, so I was about to say that normally means there's an airlock coming up. Classic loady airlock. Reach the bridge and upload the data from the main computer. Oh, sweet, sweet ammo, come to me. Sweet, sweet armor? Do I have to do some sort of weird bunny hopping up the stairs? God, I hope not. I cannot remember how you bunny hop well in Quake at all. Oh no, we just forgot the window ledge. Fantastic. How is the bunny hopping weird in Quake 2? Wonky. I remember there was a whole genre of maps about Quake 2 racing that all involved bunny hopping. But it's kind of that old school, really old school bunny hopping where you have to bunny hop diagonally or something weird. I was never good at it. Ow! Too many people in there with rocket launchers for my liking. You can build up speed, but turning's very limited, just mostly good for long straight lines. Yeah, there was also something about people... Yeah, you certainly have less air control. But I remember people doing like mad stuff with rocket bouncing and stuff with it to basically turn corners. Two ammo. Uh-huh. Ow. You need to remember when there's two of them, or indeed three of them, you can't just come out after 3 rockets. Oh, especially because you're firing in barrages more than 3, which I didn't realise. That's upsetting. Hello, please come in here. Okay, that's that one down. I heard the noise. Let's try and use rockets to take down the next one. You can't kill me with the hyper things, hyper cannon shells. That's very embarrassing. This one actually has the shield on as well. Right, good. Still more things to kill. But I think at this stage we're going to take that cheeky adrenaline. We're going to do the upload. Oh no, that's it. Phew. We've obviously missed some enemies somewhere on that final level. And it also looks like there was an entirely secret level in that one, in the kind of old school tradition of just hiding entire levels in secrets. Well, it's got a bunch of question marks at the end, which normally means that's a secret level you've not found and engaged with. I know, obviously, Quake 2 had a bunch of secret levels in, just like Quake 1 did. But yeah. Oh, you were asking that was a secret level as well? I believe so. But I'm not sure, because I didn't find it. And there was obviously, we missed a lot of secrets. In particular, there was that gun that we just didn't find at all, which I assume was from one of the expansions. Yeah, they are the best, and they often had the really weird stuff in that was always fun, like the Quake pyramid secret level, where it's just like, we're going to do a low gravity level that's going to be absolute grenade nonsense. Right, for now though, let's save that, and let's end the game, and let's do, what time is it? Yeah, do another 20 minutes or something of something else. What's this? Oh, this might be able to tell us what the different weapon was that we saw. Man, there was a lot of additional guns added in the expansions. Ah, looks like the plasma beam that we didn't pick up. Seems the same kind of laser weapon that some of the enemies were using. Hey, the ion ripper is different. Energy boomerangs capable of ricocheting off walls. Oh, so it's like the rip shot from Unreal Tournament. Fun. Proxy launcher. Tesla. A trap. Which sucks nearby enemies in and turns them into power cubes for you to devour. Okay then. A chain fist. It's a very Ghostbusters thingy, yeah. Which is the jumpy boy that always does me? Huh. Apparently just like classic shamblers are in here somewhere as well. Oh, stalkers. They were the ceiling things that I did not enjoy. Gek must have been the weird sea creatures we encountered. Brains. Ah, Berserker. Yeah, they're the ones that they've added. They've added the jump in for. And that makes them much more deadly, because they can close on you really quickly now. Yeah, there might be a Quake 1 secret level, absolutely. I wonder as well if some of the expansions just brought back some old enemies, because it's kind of easier in some ways. Well, that's a nice little addition. On then, let's have a look at Quake 2 64 quickly, because I've never played Quake 2 64. Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, those vault things never really do. Oh man, that's an intro screen saying, look, we can do polygons on this new console. Delicious chunky polygons. I apologise, obviously it's Quake 264, yes. Oh, they've not up-res that texture. That it. Now, from what I remember, the levels of these are likely to be a bit simpler, because the N64 couldn't do as bigger levels, or quite as complicated geometry, which is why we're being dropped just into nowhere with no explanation. So, what's the Quake 1 jump sound? I just immediately give us the shotgun. I like this. I like this already. Oh, is it? I don't think I noticed. Ah, purple water, so you know it's next gen. Also, very obviously a secret under here. Thank you. There's obviously something up there as well. Oh, and there's a goey uppy thing. Goey up, please. I don't know. I until they announced that Quake 264 was in this package, didn't even really know there was a Quake 264. I'd heard of Doom 64, but yeah, not Quake 64. Oh, and they've not changed it so you immediately use your abilities as well, by the look of it. Shoot barrels to make them explode. Absolutely. It is feeling a bit gritty. Go away. Go away. Ow. Apparently you can't jump on those. And it makes sense after Doom 64 was a thing for them to do Quake as well, I suppose. I tell you the other thing that's missing from Quake 2. Oh, ooh. Delicious super shotgun already. Is the original Quake had a bunch of like chatter going on from the other Marines about it all going to hell, which this very noticeably doesn't have. I suspect putting like a bunch of recorded vocals in. Yeah, it was often incomprehensible, but I imagine putting a bunch of like recorded vocals in probably didn't fit so well on a cartridge. Oh wow, they also break the first person to like do a dramatic zoom out. That's weird. Oh, so that level was tiny. Highly cinematic, I agree. Hey look, you said this was impossible, but they've done it, an actual repulsor field. Yeah, the levels feel a lot more basic. Like the secrets in particular so far are, for old id games, laughably easy. Like how it's got its own colour palette though, and it's got these like glowing light bridges. Obviously has a bit of a theme. Shush. Oh. Oh, you arrive early. Goodness. That's what I mean. Compared to id's secrets in Quake 2, these ones are all, so far, very basic. No, it came that way. Up Up into that pipe, I imagine. Ah, back in the past when all pipes were just octagons. Also, the designers of this clearly loved the explosive barrel. Absolutely adored the explosive barrel. I always thought explosive barrels in Quake 2 didn't look very explosive. Like, you learn they're explosive barrels, but they don't really have the affordance of an explosive barrel when you first see them, compared to other barrels which have kind of like, you know, the red colours or the flames on them or whatever. I think you'd be hard pressed to tell these from normal barrels in other games. It's more in Quake 2 that you just learn that any barrel is probably explosive. Oh, hello, grenade launcher. I mean, mate, you got so lucky. By the fact apparently I can't hit you with a grenade launcher for toffee. So I'm going to stop wasting grenades. Oh yes, we got the explosives that we were supposed to put somewhere. To be fair, I don't think I came this way last time, so maybe it's up here. Oh. And then you can get the super shotgun in this level without a secret. Okay. Am I supposed to blow you up? You incredibly low poly thing. Yep. It's okay. It's okay, we broke this one pipe. And or cable. It's hard to tell. Everything in these games was all octagons. Locate and use teleporter. Fine. Okay. Yeah, these levels are definitely dinkier. They seem to fit them on the cart, but I like that they've got their own visual style to them. They don't feel particularly like Quake 2 base, which is interesting. So these are the early missions, maybe they get longer. And we're back to the data discs. Quake did love a data disc, or Quake 2 in particular loved the data disc. Go away, go away. Alrighty. Oh! Yeah! Yeah, as I said, they put in the ability for them to jump now. Oh boy. Oh boy! And they can jump a long way, oh my goodness. Armour down there. I find how easily those guys' heads just popped off. Like, they're not particularly well attached. Which, you know, it's just shoddy workmanship from the Strog. Not putting together their monstrous minions very well. Ow! Oh, being machine gunned from both sides. That'll be right. And off pops the heads. Ow. It is weird in video games how enemies can jump more than they can, like faster than they can run. I would argue that's not the weirdest thing about video games. Oh no. This feels a bit more OG Quake. There was a lot less trap nonsense in Quake 2, I think. I really thought that was going to go, you can't open this door from here. Yeah, in some of the campaigns there was a lot of kind of traps and murder corridors. I remember a lot of bolt firers. But I do think it was that one or two of the designers liked them more than the others. Okay, that's cool. I have no idea where the security doors are, but fine. Also, I forgot about the flies thing. That was a weird thing that only really happened in Quake. Yes, just what I was about to say as well, poor Ponky. Such a weird sort of like side part of these games that was only seemingly in Quake 2. You've got rockets, don't you? Oh, that was about time to go around that corner. Ow, and again. And off his head comes. Well, that certainly says something. Com center, maybe? Oh man, I'd love it to be a COD cupboard. You don't see enough of those in the modern day. Not since we nearly overfished COD to extinction. You have to make do with a Pollock cupboard these days, if you're lucky. Most of us barely have a Pollock drawer. It's so shiny. I really should have been expecting the monster closet. It was comm center. Obviously. Yep. You have more grenades than me. That's fair. You win. The thing they put around the reticule is new as well, to show when you've hit, which is good. One of my favourite bits of Quake 3 is they had the rising kind of dings when you hit enemies, and the closer they were to death or the more damage you did, the higher pitched it was. And it's really weird going back to older id games and not having that. It was really helpful. Mission 7, upload data disk to command. Yeah, there's no submissions in this either. They've split it into just primary missions, which is weird. Oh no, I hate the dogs. To be clear, I only hate these dogs. Dogs in general are great and all good boys. But when they give dogs horrible murder tongues, I am less in favour. this feels vaguely familiar from Quake 2, actually. This room. Yeah, before I go in there, I clearly need the hazard. I was about to say the hazard suit. Whatever it's called in this. Because I'm pretty sure that's murder. That is murder. But there's good stuff in here. But you can also get squished. So yes, we need to Gordon Freeman that in a minute. Which we get to from that platform, I assume. Yeah, this is based on a really cut down area of Quake 2, like PC Quake 2. That's weird. That's really weird. Because in the original Quake 2, you come out of there, you can't go through here because you need to get something, and you go off and do a little side tour around that kind of acidy gloop. And I remember these kind of architectures. They've obviously kind of tried to recreate little bits of it here and there. Yes, because there's even this bit where he runs to try and press a... Well, that dude runs, and there's like an alarm button here. That if you let him press, it calls more enemies. There's a bunch of... or blow up some mines on the floor. No, it calls enemies, and there's mines all over the floor, I think. And you go into this lift. My god, bro. Why do you remember the exact layout of Quake 2 level brain? And not, like, useful things like passwords. That went terribly. But yes. It's very odd that they've tried to, like, recreate cut-down versions of original Quake levels. Original Quake 2 levels. I wonder how much of it is just for like screenshots so they can just say like, look, you're getting the full PC experience on your console. But obviously you weren't. It was all the rage those days to have those screenshots that were not representative of the console you were playing it on. That was back in the day of like the Commodore 64 as well. They used to show it playing on whichever console it looked best on and went, look how good it looks. And you'd get it on the Atari or something and it would look nowhere near as good. Okay, well that's nice. Some bonus health. It's even more noticeable when you're in an area that's aping Quake 2 how much smaller these levels are. They're really compressed. Yeah. This whole bit's aping it, because then you go in here and you press a button. There's even that dude in there normally, and you upload it. That's so weird. Yeah, it's got an entirely different exit point, because they can't have the level be so big. Ah, this is absolutely messing with my brain. Because in Quake 2, there's a little computer here with the little button that we've used before, where you smush your face into it. There's our favourite data disk result. Satellite dishes. Oh, secrets are getting harder to find. I didn't find very many in the last couple. Admittedly, I'm not really looking. Cool. Into space. Sable ground. Oh, this looks very not lined up animation. Classic. This looks very Scarge from Unreal Tournament. They loved their green Borg-like spaceships as well. Definitely a period in time in video games where all alien spaceships were kind of green. Probably thanks to the Borg. What would be wrong with disabling the gravity generator? It's not like we need gravity. Really not the game to be a slow, lumbering mech in. Doesn't do you well. Oh man, space is so low resolution in the future. That James Watt telescope really didn't help. Oh, you can go away for a start, right. Which way are we going? We have two directions. Both directions full of horrors. Oh, cool! And this way is also full of casual sexism. Ah, past games. Oh, I think maybe you need to close that before you open the rest of the airlock. What did I say? Which web did I say? I can't remember. I was too busy getting shot at. Yeah, it's not a very good airlock, is it? It doesn't actually lock any air inside your ship. Instead, it just vents it all out immediately. You jumpy monsters. I also heard a really, sexist random noise coming from in here, which I mean, probably assume normally implies there's one of those weird, unclad lady enemies for no good reason. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, don't go in there. Okay, so one part of old games that has not aged well. I think I'm just going to kite them all back over here. Did you just jump down there? Cool, you did. Great. My goodness, whoever thought that enemy design was like a good idea or in any way okay. I hope they're not still designing. I just still to this day don't understand why anyone at any point thought that would A, be okay, and B, even be an interesting thing. Oh, that's not got a window in it. Ow! I mean, the past was hella sexist is a pretty true statement, yeah. I mean, you've not really disabled gravity, you've just lowered gravity. Ow, you jumpy monster. I mean, it's not super great these days, is it? What with the weird Dead Island severed lady torso statue, which for some reason someone signed off on, and nobody went, what the hell is wrong with you? Let's go back out through this terrible, terrible airlock. See, it works that way around, just not the other way back round. Oh, I guess we need to disable the gravity generator so we can make this jump. And yep, we've let all of the air out the ship again. Alrighty. It's particularly noticeable when you have those two enemies types. The kind of Banshee and then the Berserker come around. Just so hilariously, like, differently presented. I did not see the Dead Island Lady Torso statue. It is quite a legendary what the fuck indeed. Liftoff in progress. Oh. Oh, it just vanished immediately. No, I mean, that is fair. Mainstream video gaming is often too exhausting to bother with. That one I've talked about a bit because I've talked about it a little bit with some of the problems with the gaming industry to my students. It's a case study of like how to alienate half your fan base for no perceivably like thought out reason. Okay, that got that anyway. Not sure what good a silencer would do. I'm not, yeah, to say, not really sure what good a silencer would do on a grenade launcher, but sure. That's another thing to maybe not question in old games. How does the silencer stop the grenade from sounding noisy when it explodes? This level is a bit bigger, to be fair to it. Why on that? That's just the worst. That's just a bad version of a gun I've got a better version of. Okay. I wasn't paying attention that I needed to collect explosive charges, but I guess we found some explosive charges. What's the point of putting 3 of them in the same room, though? It just doesn't add anything to the design. Ow! I just stopped questioning things in old video games, really. 3 more enemies somewhere. One of them's right there. And there's the other 2. Ow! Oh, their jumps in low grab are real bad. Ow. Yeah, so the biggest difference in these, in the N64 one, is they're still broken up into mini campaigns, but you don't do any of that kind of exploratory switching backwards and forwards between levels. It's much more linear. Which again, I imagine is probably because it took It shouldn't have taken that long, actually, if it was loading off a cartridge. But I imagine it was to make sure it fitted on the console okay. Oh, it's your favourite baddies back there, Pop Ponky. Oh, okay. We'll finish this level in this little mini campaign and then we'll wrap up for today, I think. As much as I'm actually quite enjoying being back in playing Quake 2, I'm also quite sleepy from playing Quake 2. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sure this was really quite unbearable to play without a mouse, to be honest. Especially because in the N64 controller days with shooters, they'd not really standardized anything. Which meant... yeah, which meant it was much easier to jump into space. No, it meant that kind of turning and jumping and stuff was a bit of a nightmare. Especially with the slightly rubbishy C-stick on old Nintendo consoles. Honestly, a frame rate around 25 back in the day, that would have been more than playable. I mean, I would have played this. If I had an N64 and I wanted a shooter, I absolutely would have played this. I am sure. Oh, that's why we had to pick up 3 of them. There's 3 places to deposit them. I'm less impressed with this than I was with Doom 64, though. Like, Doom 64 is weird and different and clearly not the same as Doom. It felt a lot spookier and creepier than Doom. Whereas this just feels like a slightly cut down Quake. I don't think it's doing it any favours. Sorry, slightly cut down Quake 2. I should say. It's a much improved Quake, obviously. The engine's way better. It can do coloured lights and everything. Stop dodging my grenades. Oh. You didn't dodge, I just missed you horribly. One thing that old id games did do, though, that I'm really noticing, is that, you know, casual sexism aside, they were really, really good at the whole giving enemies different audio cues so you could tell who you're about to be attacked by. Was Doom 64 not also on a polygonal engine as opposed to the Doom engine, which made it weird? Like playing this, Doom 64 almost feels like a prototype so they could make... Ow. So they could make a Quake game on it. Ugh. If you could stop, that would be nice. It's been a while since I've played Doom 64. I remember it feeling really good though, and like an interesting own unique thing. Them having put the jump back in these berserkers have made them so much more of a threat than they used to be. Because they can close the gap so quickly now. That is a good addition. Uh-oh. No, stay down. Oh, I'm running short on ammo. You what now? Uh-oh. Got like a descent style ending. That's interesting. Move my buns indeed. The problem is I don't quite know where to move my buns to. An enemy came out of down here, so I guess back down here maybe. Oh, it is actually counting as well. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, that looks like a docking station. How do we get in there again? I would like to get in the docking. In the dock, please. That would be good. I've just done a big pointless circle. Ah, through that way. That looks promising. Please go away. I need to get on a ship and leave. Everything's about to explode. You might want to do the same. Oh, button. Go away. Oh, that was the last enemy at least. Yeah, let's maybe get on this. Ooh. That was quite a generous 2 minutes escape window, thankfully. Because I very much needed it, getting completely lost and running in the wrong direction. Ah, it's doing the countdown. Oh, no explosion. Yeah, this is much better when it's not trying to be the PC version of Quake 2 and being its own weird thing, I think. What I'm going to do, though, just to wrap up, because I know it so well, is we're going to do Q2 DM1 the Edge. We're going to knock down the amount of bots a little bit. We'll leave them on hard. And I will try and wrap up while losing very badly, I imagine, on this classic map. This map that I know better than any other space in gaming, which is really terrifying. So I've played it so much. So for example, through here, there's a railgun. Hey, buddy. Because I have spent probably tens to hundreds of hours in this one map, which is scary. Get the armor. Go get the hidden chain gun round here. This will take me up to where the grenade launcher is. Oh dear. As I say, it scares me. There's also the hyper blasters just down here, isn't it? Yeah. It scares me how my brain remembers every single bit of this. And only this. Right. Let's go get the rocket launcher down here. It's... Why, brain? There's so much we could be remembering, and this is what you choose to only remember. I can't hit anything in multiplayer in this anymore, apparently. Oh, you frag stealer. Yeah, I can't hit it. Oh my goodness, they've all got like old school banners. Commander Keen and ski-free banners. That is adorable. Hooray! One frag. I remember always being terrible with the Hyper Blaster in this. In Quake 2 Deathmatch. So this is going to go well. Tell you everything I do remember. Rocket jumping up here to get the Mega Health. So the problem is, recently I've been playing Quake Live, and the rockets move at a different speed in Quake Live, because they're based on the Quake 3 rockets. So when I try and lead people with this, I'm leading them with a speed of rocket that is not the rocket in this game. So I do quite badly. I don't know why I keep going to get the rocket launcher. This is hilariously nostalgic for me though. Jumping around this level with old school bots. I spent a lot of my time playing bots. Because I wasn't allowed to play this online very much because we had a dial-up modem. And if I was online playing this, nobody could get a phone call. Because the past internet was very rubbish. Can we just maybe hit someone with a rocket? No? No. Can we hit someone with anything? Evidently not. Oh, okay, we can with the super shotgun. Well, that's good at least. No, don't switch to that, you idiot. Hooray! We managed to hit someone in a narrow corridor where they couldn't dodge. Honestly, at this stage, I'll take it. That means there's someone down there. The thing I do remember about the old Quake 2 Deathmatch in particular is they set up stuff like the armor shards and the health pickups in such a way that you could hear where people were on the map when they picked them up. So like the cadence of the pickups meant that when you got good at it, you were like, oh, they've just picked up the ammo from over near the railgun. And it's wild when your brain gets into that stage of being able to do that. It feels like some sort of weird magic. You just immediately know where enemies are because of the pickup noises. It goes back to the fact that id were just really generally quite good with audio cues. Oh, okay, that was actually a good shot. Oh, beans indeed. Someone up there. There's definitely someone up there. Someone down here with the chain gun. Two people down here with the chain gun. Oh! I am certainly feeling rusty. I also am certain I'm going to end up playing this a little bit in my spare time. Because man, the nostalgia of this is off the charts for me. Let's see if I can hit anyone with a railgun. Railgun always took me a while to get my eye in on. Someone over there, I saw that. Yeah, there he is. Attacking me with the basic gun. Goodness, man. Oh yeah, that still feels good. Even if it's a rubbish bot, it still feels good to get someone with a railgun. Oh, that was a grenade. I saw that one coming and absolutely failed to dodge it. Is there a gun in here? Yeah, there's a machine gun in here. Getting shot in the back because I just wanted the one kill. That feels pretty familiar as well. Yeah, so this and the lava one I mentioned before were the two multiplayer maps that I played by far the most. This one is the map that's been ported to all... Basically, most other arena shooters had a version of this ported at some point. Fair, it is still a really good deathmatch arena. Oh. A good kind of series of different size areas, a lot of kind of looping back on itself and verticality. Man, if I could set up a 1999 LAN party again, I would be all over that. We spent a late night playing Serious Sam Second Encounter in co-op and playing the whole thing from like 1 AM through to 9 AM the next day. And it was amazing. This is also classic. The Edge was just absolutely pelting pelting the area down there with grenades. The thing I have completely forgotten is what number all the weapons are on. Because that was always the thing as well, remembering which number all the different weapons are on. Oh, I'll take that shot. Someone's coming up here. I think the rust is starting to come off. I hit them, but not by enough. Nice. Oh, I was trying to type GG, but I can't remember how you type in Quake. All right, let's just very quickly show you the other map quickly, and then I will wrap up. Because otherwise, I will just play this for a long time. Because man, am I enjoying it. So yeah, I guess for I think it was Night Dive and yeah, I remember that trap. Night Dive and Machine Games. It's not really a remaster. They've not done a huge amount of kind of graphical stuff. I don't really think they've done much of the textures or the polygon count or anything. They've not remade stuff. But they've done up the engine. They've made it work in modern computers without any hassle. They have done a bunch of additional accessibility features that I've not talked about, but stuff to help with the menus, and it's got like full reading of the menus and text-to-speech and all this throughout the chat as well. The multiplayer works. It works cross-play now as well. They've put bots in. Don't have to rely on anything like the old GameSpy hardware and software. So, yeah. Oh man, I forgot the BFG was up here. Oh no! And that's also what I remember at this level. So yeah, I'm really impressed, especially if you've already got Quake or got Quake 2 or any of the Quakes or the Dooms that they've remastered on Steam, this update is entirely free. But they've brought across the Quake 264, and they've put an entirely new... Oh, they've got quad. They put an entirely new campaign in, which looks quite fun. Ow! Yeah, there we go. I knew the rocket... Again, my brain knew the rocket launcher was in there. It's a good deal. Free is a good deal for all the amount of content and fixes they've put in here. Oh, that AI fell in the lava. They always used to fall in the lava around here as well. Good. No, nobody's got any points because people keep leaping into the lava and losing points. So yeah, I'm properly impressed, and I am definitely going to go and finish the campaign that Machine Games have made, because I was enjoying that campaign. And I suspect I'll try and drag some of my friends into giving the multiplayer try online as well. I think they've also ported the Capture the Flag multiplayer, but it doesn't work with bots, because bots are always legendarily a bit rubbish with the Capture the Flag multiplayers. Oh, so much falling in lava. Oh my goodness. But yeah, if you have an interest in retro games and retro shooters, you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to try one of the real classics. Whether or not you like the single player, that's kind of debatable. But some people love it, myself included. Some people do not get on with it as well. But it's absolutely worth giving it a go to try the deathmatch against your friends or bots. I think it's on sale as well if you don't have it because of QuakeCon. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's worth trying for the lineage of the arena shooter, because this was a really important step in the lineage. A step now which was definitely outpaced by later games like Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 are definitely better arena shooters. But it's kind of interesting how much of it was already in this game. How much of it kind of was prototyped here. Come on. Let's see. Have to find someone when you have the quad damage, or it's really bad. Well, if you've got Quake 2 on Steam, Port Ponky, then you already have this update. Just make sure that you remap a couple of controls and probably turn up the sensitivity of the mouse, because it is woefully low to start with. Just upsettingly low. Oh no, the AI made it and got the railgun and didn't die. And then used it to shoot me right in the face. Oh man, someone's got the quad damage again already. But I think they just flipped into the lava, so it's fine. Yes, I will say, as much as I played this deathmatch level a lot in my youth, it's not a very good level design. Like, it's fine, and it's fun, and it's functional, but it is nowhere near as good as the Edge. There's loads of dead ends, and kind of, it doesn't loop back into itself anywhere near as much to funnel people back into combat, and that's what the Edge was really good at. Is it was so good at like looping people back on themselves. There's always people around to fight. Now, having said that, I do think this incarnation of the BFG is one of my favourites. It just feels very, very deadly. I just hear bots dropping into lava. Oh, they have improved the bot AI. They always used to just fall in the lava there and get killed. Oh, this is a bad idea. Why am I still trying to do this? That's why. Yoink. no, they jumped straight into the lava. Oh man, I am I am getting really stupidly into this. It's making it quite hard to talk because I am actually really trying to focus. Because the audio on this is so important to knowing what's going on. It even does nice little clicks when you're about to run out of ammo on weapons, which is really good. Please stop standing so close to me when I've got the rocket launcher. I know that's the tactic. Ow. Oh, they cratered. Oh, that's a shame. Ah, thank you, Port Ponky. For those of you who don't know, our master's students are doing a showcase of their summer projects tomorrow. So they are going off to Unity's Edinburgh office. We've set it up. Oh, God, damage in the rocket launcher. Amazing. So we've set it up for them to demo their games alongside some other local indie developers, which we're really looking forward to. It should be fun. Gives them a nice chance to, you know, show off what they've spent the last 3 months making, which is the idea. Just want them to have something nice. Like a nice experience for it all. So fingers crossed everyone will turn up tomorrow and have hardware and stuff will work. I mean, they won't, because these things, there's always a problem on the day. But that's fine. There should hopefully be enough people around to help fix it. Ow. And I'll tell you what, there is plenty of scope in this to make the bots a lot harder and for them to absolutely ruin me. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh, well, they just jumped straight into the lava. Great. Okay, we're only 6 frags away, and then we'll wrap up the video. For realsies, I'll stop saying I'm going to wrap up the video and then keep playing. And I might keep playing, but I'll at least turn the stream off. Oh, that's where that comes out. Oh, they're around here somewhere. There they are. Oh! Oh, that feels good. That feels so satisfying to get those shots off. I love that someone's got the little ski free banner. It's so cool. Aha! Ah! Ooh. Sorry, just make a series of noises there. Haha. Ooh. Ah. Right. We have a rocket launcher. We've got quad damage. Let's go ruin some days. Or get shot in the face. Yeah, you can see the bots really don't do well at this level. They ended up with minus numbers. I think we ran out of time there. But anyway, yes. Oh yeah, they were the people I didn't like, and that was a gun I never got. This has been a little bit of a look at the Quake 2 Remaster remake. Go check it out on Steam if you've already got Quake 2. It will just launch this version. You can also launch the old versions if you wish, so you can still use them with Quake 2 RTX. But for now, I'm going to go and rest my eyes because I haven't blunked in about 30 minutes, which is always happens with these old shooters. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy Quake 2 if you go try it. And I'll see you again next week, probably for something a little bit more cerebral and a little bit less shooty. We'll see how it goes. Until then, have a lovely rest of your weekend whenever you're watching this. Thank you. GG. TTFN.